As a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge, and love for my nation, with a vision of transforming India into a developed nation, I am joining Shobhit University. What about you?
Very good morning to all the participants from India and abroad to the international webinar series on open source digital technologies for self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, deemed to be university, and its centers of excellence, Center for Informatics, Development Solutions and Applications, CIDSA, and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Applications, CITSA, in association with African Asian Rural Development Organization, Ordo New Delhi, organized this weekly international webinar series on open source digital technologies for self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Today is 24th July 2021. On behalf of the Honorable Chancellor, His Excellency, the Secretary General Ordo, Honorable Vice Chancellor, the faculty members of the university, and on my behalf, and as Professor Emeritus and Chairman of the Centers of Excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, Center for Agriculture, Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Applications, and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Applications, and Center for Health Informatics and Computing. Welcome our guest speaker of today's webinar, Shri Arvind Tiwari. He is a project manager, information security, CMS Computers Limited, Noida, Uttar Pradesh. He is a certified CISM, CISSP trained and ISO 27000 lead implementer. Today's topic is cyber security, risks, challenges, and solutions. Intelligence approach to reduce cyber risk, very important topic. The country requires about 1 lakh cyber security professionals in view of deepening of digitalization through IoTs and interface of things, etc., and also the rising of platform economy in India and elsewhere in the world. I wish to inform the participants and the guest speaker, Shri Arvind Tiwari, that under this international webinar series, these two centers of excellence, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, and Center for Industry 4.0 Industry Studies and Application, have organized 36 lectures so far on the topics open technologies to provision simple and economical IT infrastructure, a roadmap for students using free and open source software and reaching goals of Atmanirbhar Bharat, free and open source software and industrial IoTs for SMEs, free and open source software adoption, oblique business model, open data platform for smart digital governance, digital government, technology imperatives, make in India for self-reliance, edge artificial intelligence, data governance for self-reliant India, digital India, transforming governance and society, India's email service citizen at indiamail.com in 22 constitutionally recognized languages, ecosystem architecture for digital transformation, education system cyber critical infrastructure, seizing opportunities in open innovation and value creation network in the digital world for self-reliant economy, ensuring food safety and compliance through technology, Digital India, urgent need for semiconductor manufacturing in India, Technology investment in agriculture value chain, role of foreign direct investments, entrepreneurship and skill development, artificial intelligence design pathways, rise of platform economy, revisiting value chain governance, era of automation, industrial robotics, and Industry 4.0, into a German perspective of technology transfer, skill gap analysis, and opportunities. Role of artificial intelligence in healthcare, current developments in diagnosis and vaccine research, digital agri-tech and agri-startup perspective, health informatics network value chain, e-health system and beyond, leveraging emerging technologies for ensuring transparent and traceable agri and food supply chains, unleash the power of citizen development for enterprise software development, e-governance models towards sustained quality service to citizens backed up by technology, Indian MSMEs to adopt Industry 4.0 technology capabilities, urgent need for mentorship and accelerator program, building public digital platform using microservices and APIs, health informatics network value chain, early childhood development and learning, health informatics network value chain, clinical AI, interface between machine learning and health informatics, health informatics network value chain, importance of social medicine and community health in the era in the times of health emergency. G filter, simple low cost solution to the drinking water treatment in rural India. Gravity filter, open source GovTech startups empowering growth with automation. Digital transformation in small enterprises and small businesses of India, challenges and opportunities. National Digital Twin Program, need for a robust geospatial infrastructure. Industry 4.0 in MSMEs, benefits of indigenously developed Collab CAD, 3D CAD, and product lifecycle software from NIC. Mass serialization and anti-counterfeiting solutions to fight illicit trade. Today we will have the talk by our guest speaker, Mr. Arvind Tiwari, on the topic cybersecurity risk, challenges and solutions, intelligence approach to reduce cyber risk. Dear participants, you see the keywords: cyber security, risk involved, challenges posed, solutions thereof. The speaker will talk about intelligence approach to reduce cyber risk. To recall, in this webinar series, the university has hosted about 8 talks related to cyber security issues. Open technologies to provision simple and economical IT infrastructure. Open source software in industrial IoTs for SMEs. Technology imperatives make in India for self-reliant India. In that, our former founder director Sartin and founder CEO Data Security Council of India, Dr. K.K. Bajaj, talked about key challenges on 17th October 2020. The key challenges are cyber security, trust in global supply chains. And in cyber security, he talked about core ICT infrastructure, technology platforms, banking, digital payment systems, health, telecom, power, and education. On 21st November 2020, the former Secretary to Government of India, Shri Satyanarayana, talked about ecosystem architecture for digital transformation. On 20th November 2020, Professor Shruti Mantri, Associate Director of Indian School of Business, Hyderabad, talked about education system, cyber critical infrastructure, and cyber risk involved. And on 5th December 2020, Dr. Jababale Vinanchi Arachi, former principal advisor to the Director General UNIDO Vienna, talked on seizing opportunities in open innovation and value creation network in digital world for self-reliant economy. This is very important with respect to cyber security research and development. On 9th January, Professor Charu Malhotra, Coordinator, Center for E-Governance, Indian Institute of public administration, Delhi talked on the rise of platform economy. The time has come to revisit value chain governance. On 12th June, Mr. Prakash Ramaswamy, strategic advisor, automotive technology, Chennai, talked on open source GovTech startups empowering growth with automation. Atmanirbhar Bharat is the road ahead, is the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi of making India a self-reliant nation, rested on 5 I's: intent, inclusion, investment, infrastructure, and innovation. Based on 5 pillars: economy, quantum jump, not incremental; infrastructure, one that's modern India; cyber infrastructure, one that represents modern India, is very important; systems, 21st century technology driven, wherein cyber security risk and challenges and solutions are understood appropriately; vibrant demography, source of energy for self-reliant India. In view of digitalization, the vibrant demography who has to understand the issues involved in cyber security. Demand, whereby the strength of our demand and supply chains should be utilized to full capacity, and it is a digitalized demand and supply chain, and it has to be cyber security proof. This was announced on 15th May 2020 by the central government. Vocal for local to make it global. Make in India, make for India, and make for global. It needs strong cyber security, in place. Digital India program aims to transform India to a knowledge-based economy and a digitally empowered society. On 20th February 2019, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology published a report titled India's $1 trillion digital opportunity. India is hoping for $5 trillion economy, and of which $3 trillion economy can come from digital India, digitalized India. And they also did this report in collaboration with the McKinsey and Company, and which has identified about 30 digital themes. If scaled up nationally, can accelerate total progress in 9 key areas: digital world, the rise of platform economy. Recent trends in digital economy is the application of blockchain technology, broadband, blockchain technology, data analytics, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, Internet of Things, automation and robotics, and cloud computing. Digital platform economy is emerging, and digital ecosystems are essential for digital transformation in the digital world, of which cyber security is the core component. Industry 4.0 is today, and tomorrow will be Industry 5.0. The key technologies are A, B, C, D, E. A is artificial intelligence, analytics, and operations research. B is blockchain. C is cloud, IoT, 5G communications. D is big data, and E is ecosystem. The digital transformations are accomplished by building public digital platform using microservices and application program interfaces. Building successful and demonstrable information technology risk management program through standards are required. Building a successful and demonstrable information technology risk management program through standards is required in the country. This is the paper which I published in 2007 in the in the conference organized by CDAT Noida. And today's software is vulnerable to attack with respect to operating systems, applications, and utilities. The custom code can be exploited, taking advantage of known bugs, design flaws, weakness in platforms, unsecured communication paths, and poor programming techniques. This is accelerated during the COVID-19 pandemic period. Data can be stolen. Data can be corrupted. Networks can be compromised. Websites can be the gold mine to organizations' profit or the backdoor to let hackers and criminals destroy their business. So this is very important. That Abraham Maslow, the author of groundbreaking work, his Hierarchy of Needs, he published this book in 1954. I wish to quote, he said, where the only tool you own is a hammer, where the only tool you own is a hammer, every problem begins to resemble a nail. And this is the ground reality. Hammer and nail problem. India's Information Technology Act 2000 provides legal sanctity to the use of digital signature. In addition to this, India adopted ISO IEC 17799 2005 as well as ISO IEC 27001 2005 information technology security techniques, information security management solutions as its national standards and recognized as IS/ISO/TEC 17999 2005 and IS/ISO/IEC 27001 2005. Open Information Security System Security Group has announced its flagship project Information System Security Assessment Framework to develop an end-to-end framework for security assessment. This is evolving framework and it is evolutionary in nature. In 2006, the Central Department of Information Technology has set up an e-governance working group in the areas of technology standards and e-governance architecture, localization language technology standards, total quality management and documentation, metadata and data standards of application domains, network security and information security, legal enablement of ICT systems, and government process re-engineering. As the Deputy Director General e-governance standards, I steered this working group till 2008. These were formed in 2006. And I was instrumental in realizing the need for legal enablement of ICT systems in the country. Legal systems are ICT enabled, but ICT systems are not legal enabled except some few cases, few areas, few features. Information security research and training is the need of the hour. Digital India is a key initiative of the country. In National E-Governance Division of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and industry partners for training central information security officers and the chief technology officers, come out with the Cyber Surakshit Bharat. NIS's general guidelines for secure applications and infrastructure and checklist for secure code programming and applications. National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center is an organization of Government of India created under Section 70A of Information Technology Act 2000, amended 2008, and is designated as the national nodal agency in terms of critical information infrastructure protection. Which are the critical infrastructure sectors? Banking and finance, foods and grocery, energy, data and cloud, space, education, research and innovation, transport, water, health, defense and national security. So cyber security has to be the core security infrastructure, in infrastructure. Darkreading.com encompasses 10 communities, each of which drills deeper into the enterprise security challenges. Attacks and breaches, application security, cloud security, data leaks and insiders threat, endpoint security and privacy, mobile security, network and perimeter security, risk management and compliance, security management and analytics, and vulnerabilities and threats. Three pillars of a cyber security strategy that works are people, process, and technology. And we also have to deal with the dark data. It is like we used to call as iceberg. This is called data berg. Dark data that lies beneath. Only 12% of the data collected are data business critical. 23% are redundant, obsolete, and trivial, rotting. Cost to global industry is about something like 53.3 trillion by 2020. And 65% data dark hidden within networks, people, and missions. 65% of the dark data hidden within networks, people, and missions. Of the data collected, only 12% are of business critical. Means 88% we have to deal with, and they are all problems for cybersecurity. And three primary areas in which dark data poses cybersecurity and compliance risk: increased attack surface, potential compliance violations, and unused security intelligence. In addition to the valuable business intelligence, many dark data assets, such as system log files, can contain actionable security intelligence that could be used to develop more accurate cyber risk assessment, threat, and anomaly detection models. Recently, I was going through some, internet publications where one University of Dakota in America, invites students for masters in cybersecurity. They have listed out very clearly in their website that why you should undertake this course. Masters is a Master of Science in Cybersecurity. They listed out 7 types of cybersecurity, which are malware. Cybersecurity professionals should have an in-depth understanding of the following types of cybersecurity threats: malware, emotet, denial of service, man in the middle, phishing, SQL injection, password attacks. And these 7 are very important. And evolution of cybersecurity, this cybersecurity practice continue to evolve as the internet and digitally dependent operations develop and change. According to Secure Works, people who study cybersecurity are turning more of their attention to the 2 areas in the following sections: Internet of Things and explosion of data. Data storage on devices such as laptops, cell phones, makes it easier for cyber attackers to find an entry point into the network through a personal device, Pegasus software, which we have seen it. Throughout the world, people are experiencing this. In May 2019, book which was published by them, Exploding Data, Reclaiming Our Cybersecurity in the Digital Age, the former US Secretary of Homeland Security, Michael Chertoff, warns of a pervasive exposure of individual personal information, which has become increasingly vulnerable to cyber attacks. Consequently, companies and government agencies need maximum cyber security to protect their data and operations. The coronavirus pandemic emerged as the biggest challenge for business and IT organizations in 2020. Here are some of the emerging cyber security threats that will dominate cybersecurity landscape in 2021 and beyond. Pandemic-related attacks, ransomware attacks, cloud breaches, cloud-based security risk, including cloud misconfigurations, incomplete data deletion, and vulnerable cloud apps will be the common source of cyber attacks. Mobile security threats and IoT attacks. Understanding how to address the latest evolving cyber threats is essential for cyber security professionals. And from the website of digitaldefense.com, now they listed out cyber security issues with respect to application cyber security, information cyber security, network security, operational security, encryption, access control security, end user education, and disaster recovery. These are all very important. And compliance and cyber security, compliance plays a large role in cyber security. Compliance and cyber security are the two sides of the coin. Risk management plays a large role in an organization's cyber security strategy. And many organizations leverage ISO standards as a framework for security program and best practices. What is the current cyber security policy in India and how it has been impacted by COVID? Application attacks. According to the article by Deepthi Sridhar in Times of India, August 21, 2020, it is application attacks by gaining access to operating system and the databases on the rise. According to an article in Economic Times, India Times, dated 21 August 2020, at least 235 million users of Facebook owned Instagram, China-based TikTok, and Google-owned YouTube have been hit by a massive data leak, and their professional profiles were up for grabs on dark web. COVID-19 pandemic emphasized on the importance of e-learning. As more teachers and students coordinate classes via the digital medium, they are constantly targeted by hackers through various forms of malware and cyber attack. And I would like to quote a recent report, NCPI 2020's most comprehensive cyber power across all the 7 objectives. Which are all the 7 objectives? This is National Cyber Power Index. It is a report of September 2020. China Cyber Policy Initiative, Belfer Center for Science and International Affairs, Harvard Kennedy School, and they had 7 objectives, and one is surveilling and monitoring domestic groups, strengthening and enhancing national cyber defenses, controlling and manipulating the information environment, foreign intelligence collection for national security, commercial gain or enhancing domestic industry growth, destroying or disabling an adversaries' infrastructure and capabilities, and defining international cyber norms and technical standards. On this basis, this institute, this is called China's Cyber Policy State Initiative from US. Now they have come out with a report, and they have calculated on the basis of 7 objectives, and from the first 10 countries, ranking first to 10, US number 1, to China, 3rd United Kingdom, Russia, Netherlands, France, Germany, Canada, Japan, and Australia. And India is in 21st position, having NCPI index less than 10, whereas USA is first position, having NCPI greater than 50. It is an alarming rate that one has to look into it with respect to our cyber security strategy. Honorable Shri Ajit Doval, the National Security Advisor, concerned for security solutions for digital assets, that is data transfer between data servers and servers to social media platforms. And he said it, in the September 2020, while he was addressing the conference for India to create national cyber security strategy by 2020. His concerns were security solutions for digital assets. India has to have it in place. Data transfer between data servers and servers to social media platforms. In the current age, governments can only be effective as their investment in technology. In India, while the Right to Information Act had initially kick-started the use of technology to make information more accessible and transparent, more recent initiatives such as Digital India, GST, Direct Benefit Transfer, Aadhaar, and smart cities have led to digital technologies deeply penetrating into multiple aspects of governance and citizen welfare. As per the synopsis of the guest speaker, cybersecurity refers to the body of technologies, process, and practices designed to protect a network, devices, programs, and data from attack, damage, and unauthorized access. Cybersecurity may also be referred to as information technology security. In his synopsis, Mr. Arvind Tiwari, our guest speaker, raises a question. What can you do to improve your organization's security measures and lower the risk of breaches on your systems? Let us find an answer from his address. Let us now turn to the address by our guest speaker, Arvind Tiwari, Project Manager, Information Security, CMS Computers Limited, India, Noida, Uttar Pradesh, and he is certified CISM, CISSP trained, ISO 27001, 2013 lead implementer on the topic cybersecurity risk, challenges and solutions, intelligence approach to reduce cyber risk. His talk will cover importance of cybersecurity, cybersecurity risk, and intelligence approach steps to reduce the risk. This topic will motivate and galvanize the participants watching over telecast through facebook.com Sobit University India or youtube.com Sobit University for motivating them to harness the power of transformers, technology, and capital to cybersecurity in India. This will lead to empower India through Make in India more vibrant. India strongly requires more deep tech startups in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity needs to be taught as a compulsory subject in computer science and information technology courses at BTech and MTech and MSc level. Let me introduce our guest speaker to the audience. Mr. Arvind Tiwari. Mr. Arvind Tiwari is the project manager, information security, CMS Computers Limited, India, Noida, Uttar Pradesh. With 14 years of expertise in developing overall IT security roadmap, policies, and spearheading information security program in compliance with IT, applications and cyber security, data privacy, vendor risk management, cyber security governance, and risk management. Have designing and govern the information security management framework at multiple cities, locations, and leading infrastructure and security compliance efforts to reduce business and cyber security risk by more than 40%, maintaining security compliance framework as per cyber security policy and directives, developing control framework for protecting sensitive and classifying data. Have worked as data protection officer, IT head information security, have provided cyber security solutions to banks, IT services, healthcare, and financial institutions in India, USA, Europe, Middle East, Asia, and Africa. He has held many assignments, formulating strategy, directions, and governance process utilizing information technology, infrastructure, library practices, implementing those processes, and simultaneously building the organization with the alignment of business strategies, goals, and objectives. Maintaining cyber security compliance framework, driving organizational level InfoSec and business continuity management functions, conducting data and systems classification assessment by risk rating and scoring and vulnerability analysis, risk assessment and managing remediation plans pertaining to IT operations, led IT audit management systems and implemented company IT policies and processes based on ISO 27001 and rolled out risk mitigation initiatives and techniques such as security projects. Mr. Arvind Tiwari, we are very happy to welcome you to this international webinar series on open source digital technologies for self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, to address on cyber security, risks, challenges, and solutions, intelligence approach to reduce cyber risk. Over to you for your address.
Thank you, Mr. Mon. It was very wonderful introduction. Let me share my screen. Okay. First, we will start like how what we will be learning in this program. We will be learning about cybersecurity and information security. What is cybersecurity and what is information security? And then we will be going through importance of cybersecurity, why it is important, present cybersecurity risks and threats across globe, and biggest cybersecurity threats have occurred or is going to occur in 2020 and 2021. And then we will be taking care, looking for with say potential risks and vulnerabilities presently in overall systems or configuration of the systems. Then effective ways to prevent cybersecurity threats. How can we reduce the cybersecurity threats? And role of cybersecurity in protecting privacy, because nowadays privacy is became a very important issues. And then we will be seeing like best practices in security and privacy. Be starting with what is information. Basically, information is not just the information or data which is on your systems. Information can be in any form, like data is stored on computers. It can data transmitted over the network. The printouts we are getting for like particular or important issues or important documents, the printout we keep, we take the printout and we keep, which is lying just like that. And someone can view that printouts and important information and can misuse against us. The information or any data which is written on paper, which are sent on fax or messages, which are stored on disks like pen drives or any other media, it is stored. And information which are spoken over telephone, your telephone can be tapped, and that information also can be like used against you. And information captured over mobile or mobile camera, or information we have on mobiles, that can be like mobile can be hacked and information can be extracted. So information can be in any forms. So and information, the complete life cycle of information is like information can be created, stored, and destroyed. It can be processed, transmitted, copied, and information can be like it can be lost or corrupted. So we have to take care of this information, because information is the main asset of the company. If nowadays, like if the information on the systems or information of the companies get lost, or it gets corrupted or hacked, then organization, it's a very huge risk to the organization. So summarizing this information in any forms it occurs, it should be like it has to be appropriately protected throughout the life cycle. It is not like when the information is stored on the system only we have to protect that. When it is being transmitted over the network, like you are using your bank data, internet, or you are transmitting your data or uploading your data to cloud, so Google Drives or Dropbox for storing that. So it can be like man-in-middle attack can happen and information can be extracted while traveling. or this, when the information coming to the organization through firewalls and these different layers. After firewalls, that information can be like extracted due to a vulnerable system, and it can be transported to the hacker system. So in any forms the information has to be protected. So then we'll be looking at like what is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, as already told, that it is a practice, it is a technology, body of technology, process and practice to protect the data which is in any forms, to protect it from damage or attack or unauthorized access. Many times cybersecurity is also referred to as information technology security or information security. So today, like cybersecurity is basically like protecting data which is on hardware or software or in your systems or in any forms. The individual have data in their systems, or they can transmit that systems, or they can take printouts, or in any forms the data is there, or they are in data centers or clouds or in storage media or in cloud like Google Drives or Dropbox, or in any form the data is, that has to be protected. And that protection technology is basically a cybersecurity strategy, what we see. So then what is information security? Then information security is basically protecting the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the information. So confidentiality is like, I will be going through details in the coming slides, but like on a briefly explaining, like if I am going to a bank and I have opened an account and I have deposited say 1,000 rupees. So I want that my information, that the balance I have in my account should be confidential. No one should know that how many balance or what the balance I am having in my account. Then after like say 1 or 2 months, if I come back to my account and I see that the amount which I have deposited, say 1,000 rupees I have deposited, it should be 1,000 rupees. It should not be like 700. It should not decrease. It should, and the integrity or the balance should be maintained as it is. And then whenever I wanted to withdraw that, say money from my account through any media, through online or through ATM, that has to be, it should be available. That then whenever I want to withdraw, I can withdraw that. So this is a simple example of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So information security is basically controls or physical or technical controls we apply to protect the data. Like say encryption or password we apply, or from to protect the data from like say thief or the attackers that work more efficiently. Then security, what is security? Security is like securing lock and key in our homes to protect when we go out or when we move out of our home. We want to protect our home, our household things. Then we put a lock and key in our house. So it's this type of security. So same thing has to be like when we are not using your data or when you are not using your system, it should be locked. And it should be like disconnected from the internet, so that when you are out or we are not using someone, other person should not hack in your system, come to your system, and he uses your system in background. So it should be completely protected, or it should be locked. And safety measures you have to take to reduce the risks. Certain safety measures or frameworks are designed for the security. We will be looking in the later section of the slide. That safety measures we have to take to reduce the risks, so that we are not the point of vulnerable. We are not the vulnerable point, so that anyone can access that or data and use it against us. Why cybersecurity is important? Like cybersecurity is important because maximum government, military, and financial data are processed over a lot of devices, through number of devices nowadays. Like in COVID situation, there are a lot of people are walking through online or walking from their home, and they are connected through a unprotected Wi-Fi network. And through that Wi-Fi network, you are connected to your systems or your corporate network. So what's the if you are connected to the like unprotected network and you are accessing your corporate network, that through your system could be a botnet, can be used as a botnet, and it can access your computer, your company's information. And your company information network can be like compromised through a simple just by not having an information that you are using an unprotected network. So it's a simple mistakes or simple issues, it can be like brought down. So cybersecurity is basically very important. And like organization transmits sensitive data across network devices, and they do business across the different medias. So cybersecurity describes a disciplined or dedicates to protect that information and system used to process or store it. Because since March 2013, the nation's top intelligence officers have informed, and they have provided details that digital spying are top threats to the national security, and they have even passed the local terrorism. What we have now, terrorism is basically a new form of digital like cyber attacks or data breaches. So what is cyber risk? Like if we see cybersecurity risks, it is the probability of exposure or loss resulting from the cyber attack or data breach on the organization, or potential loss or harm a technical infrastructure, use of technical reputation of an organization. It can harm it can extract your personal data, it can extract your company's data, and your company organization reputation can be online. That information, important information of your personal information or your company's information, can be exposed. So if we see a global prediction survey, like cybersecurity is ranked as the top 5 priorities across the global organization, and it has increased in recent since 2 to 3 years. If we see that, it has increased to 79% of the in the global organizations. So cyber attacks are basically a variety of reasons. It is committed through a variety of reasons, like financial frauds are committed, or information theft, personal identification informations are extracted, and denial of service are reported, like service or banks services are brought down, or disruption, infrastructure criticality, information is disrupted, and vital services of the government or organization is disrupted. So that government, say in hospitals, everything is digitized, and doctor is prescribing a medicine, and person is on bed and he has to do an operation. He wants to see the medical history of that patient, and he puts it in computer, and his computer is suddenly compromised, or the network is hacked, or network is compromised, and he is not able to see the medical history of that patient. Then it will be a risk, very issue for that doctor to operate, because he will not be having that medical history. So everything, it has to be protected. All the data has to be protected. And potential target to the cyber crimes are now customer data or individual data, employees data on the organization keeps, or intellectual properties, vendor and third party, services we are outsourcing to different vendors, product or qualities or safety measures we are applying, contracts and pricings. We have one company have put a price of 5 rupees and for a particular product, and if it is known to the other person or his competitor that that price is 5 rupees, and he is quoting in say some bit or these things, then other person can quote less than that, because he knows that he is quoting this much, so he can quote less than that, and he can get that contract. So and then strategic planning, companies put or financial data can be compromised. It is a vital major target for the cyber crime. Can come from any level of the organization. It is not that high level or low level or manager level the issues are coming. It can be from any level of the organization. So it is not the part of previously it was just an IT responsibility to protect the cyber data. it is now became or personal, like people working from home. So everyone's responsibility it is to follow this normal or general cyber framework of the organization. If the organization has defined the cyber for certain framework, then it has to be followed, and certain guidelines has awareness trainings has to be taken so that users protect their personal information and they follow a guideline so that they are protected and risks can be reduced. So common type of cyber security risks are developers who develop the program, but it is not like VAPT or vulnerability assessment is not done on that product, and it is substandard product or services it is provided. It is not like fully cyber proof, or poor configuration of the cloud services like S3 buckets or storage media or the data where you are storing, it is not properly configured. National or state data it is exposed on the public network and it is not properly protected. Proper measures, protection measures is not applied. Cyber crimes are like different people are able to get that identifications, users personal identification details, and hactics are there who are hacking and keep on like sending bootnets and floods to all the network to gain access over different network inside. And service providers inside threads we have, like we provide services to certain person, and if that person is some issues are there, so he manipulates the data and provides the data. Lack of proper security policies, cyber security policies, companies have not built, or government or organizations have not properly configured a proper cyber security policy to safeguard the data. Proper security trainings or awareness training is not provided to all the individuals, so that they don't know how to process that data or how to safeguard their data. Lack of like proper recovery plan once it is hacked or ransomware attacks or any attacks comes, then how to deal with that, or how what is the next measures you should be taking. So it is not properly communicated. Password thefts, like proper password policies, and it is not implemented, or weak password policy is implemented. Phishing attacks, this is a major issue nowadays, and phishing attacks like biggest impact on the organization we are having is loss of revenue due to the cyber attack, loss of like customer trust, customer who who trust and provides his personal information to the companies or government organization, that that data can be hacked, and the companies or government organization is not properly protecting that data. Change in leadership, like leadership change and plans don't like uh, does not get executed as per it was planned, and reputation loss, like companies' reputations and his credibility gets lost. Regular fines they provide, and companies like share values gets dropped due to this attacks or cyber attacks they have. In the recent overall economic crime frauds, like if we take the overall frauds or crimes across the globe, then cybersecurity is among the top. Second, frauds or like frauds or crimes it is having. It is nearly about 34% of the total frauds or crimes across the globe. So it have reached like cybersecurity, cybercrime has became a very necessary, very important subject to be focused on, not only by the IT people or companies, but individuals, everyone who are like presently working from home, or they are working from anywhere, remote work, or they are working in office. It has been a major issue, because every data or their personal data that can be hacked or misused against them. So simple to formulate like how uh, cybersecurity has grown in the past way. Like since 2020, I will provide you a brief month-wise details like how the cybersecurity have grown in recent years. In just 2020, every month you can see there has been a major attacks. These are the details provided on the net, or you can Google that. It is published by the company, but
Mr.
like
Arvind,
there are a
can
lot
you
of
hide? Mr. Arvind, can you hide this one? The last line is, not covering the last line. There is a button called hide, just hide it. No, in the bottom, there is one that stop sharing and then hide, just click hide so that line goes. Okay.
Okay. Then we see that since January 2020, I have taken this data. Since 2020, in January, you can see that in January 2020, Travelex has a major attack on their company. It's a London-based foreign exchange company, which had a ransomware attack, and it paid around 6 million to recover the data, but the data were not fully recovered. They paid 6 million once, and 10% of their data was recovered. Then again, the hackers asked for more ransomware, and then they didn't provide the ransomware, so they didn't provide that ransom money, so their data was exposed. In February, as still order, you see there are 4.40 million internal records were exposed in February 2020. Just in March 2020, if we see the Marriott hotels, it has a breached, hacker hacked and total information. Their account was done from two employees. Was done from an internal system of two employees who were using that system, and they were like basic. They didn't know anything about systems or how to use that systems. They were not that adequate to use that systems, and through that systems, entire organization like data was breached, and that impacted nearly about 5.2 million their customers they had across the globe. In April, if we see in April, when the world was like implementing lockdown and restrictions to slow down the COVID-19, there was a major breach in Microsoft. And Microsoft has identified that few of its services were like exposed, and it has vulnerabilities where Microsoft later on passed that provided a fix to that. But till then, like 55% of their data was like through phishing attacks or through ransomware. Their services their data was hacked, and it was already get exploited. In May, there was a major attack like budgeted airlines EasyJet. In EasyJet, there were a lot of like customers' data and their credit cards and their social security numbers was saved. Their records was hacked, and it was exposed on the dark web. In 2020, in June, there was a major incident in University of California where again the university paid around 1 million ransomware to the hackers to get back their data. But same thing happened. Like after providing that ransom money, the data nearly about 10 to 15% of the data was only provided. And then again, the ransom money, they asked more ransom, and it was not provided, and their data was exposed. In June, if you see again, Microsoft established, they had a 17 years old Signet, which was exposed through Microsoft's web servers and Microsoft servers in 2003 version and 2008 version. This major attacks or vulnerabilities occurred. In August also, there was a major this thing on LG and Xerox companies, where their data or their complete infrastructure details were exposed, and it was hacked. In September 2020, there was like in Germany, hospitals and hospital data was hacked, and many of the portions, like it was reported that few people were died due to unavailability of the medical facilities because entire hospital systems was hacked and they were not able to provide the services. It was through like Citrix software. They were using Citrix software, and some patch was released. They thought that it was released by security patch was released by Citrix, and they downloaded, but it was like vulnerable. It was a vulnerability, and it got exposed. Again, in like October, if you see in October, and your major data were like ransomware attacked occurred. like this, like in December, if in November also there was a major breach, and all the like post security person across the globe, they have informed that 71% uh, uh, increase in attacks has occurred, and all the across globe like major health industry was targeted. In December, all the like systems across the globe, like 18,000 companies were using SolarWind softwares to monitor and manage their network. In that same like SolarWind, they thought that on SolarWind has released a patch, and it automatically through their patch management system, or they thought it was a security patch that SolarWind has released, and they implemented the security patch across the globe, and they found that it was not like security patch, what it was vulnerability across, and that was exposed, and entire 18,000 companies, they 18,000 companies, the malware got inserted, and all the data across the globe was like the system got hacked. And later on, they released a note, SolarWind released a note on the global platform. So in this graph, we can see that how ransomware have increased in particularly healthcare systems, because since like say January 2020 till January 21, there has been a major increase in healthcare system, because healthcare is now the biggest issues or product main framework or main sustainability they are providing. So major cyber like attacks across the region, if you see that botnets are the main areas they are targeting, like they are making their systems or remotely the systems are getting compromised, and that system is used as a botnet to access entire like global their organization details and their corporate network. Through like work from home, the people are using unsafe network or not protected network, open Wi-Fi's and these things. So from that, their systems are getting compromised, and through that system, the entire corporate network gets compromised. This is the top malwares from Wave. We have like exe and documents. It is not like some documents are inserted through the mail, and if you go on open that document, it is just a document file. So if you open that document file through Wave or mail, uh, you receive, just when you open that, entire system gets compromised. So you can see in this like slides, you can see the top mobile malwares which are getting inserted across the globe. These are few top malwares which are reported across the globe. So now, like major issues since 2020 is like due to during this COVID-19 pandemic situation, employees using their home network or Wi-Fi network, like they are using very secure network, and they are not fully adequate with the security practices, best practices by working their home. And some companies, they have not formulated certain security policies or guidelines, they have not provided to work remotely. Like recently, there were a lot of issues like through their systems, local systems are working remotely through VPN. Their corporate network got like hacked, and their devices, like they were using VPN through their personal systems, which were not properly like configured to be like protected. So biggest threat, what are the biggest threat in cybersecurity in recent 2020 and 2021? First is like phishing mails and phishing attacks we are having. Phishing attacks is the major like attacks. There are like duplicate sites or websites created, which you will unknowingly you go to some bank links, and unknowingly if you click on a phishing website, like say I will see you one example. uh, there are two like this bank sites which gas this bank site, they have two websites. That one is on right side is a phishing website. So once you click on that phishing website, it will look like the same, exactly the same website. But when you enter your user details and password, that your login credentials will get captured, and they will be using against you to extract money or retrieve the details of your, to extract your personal information, and if you have any accounts information and details, they will use it to get or extract ransom from them. How to identify phishing websites? So how phishing websites can be identified? You have to properly analyze what is the URL. If the URL you have any doubts that URL is not proper, or if you say that Yahoo YAHO, or it is written as 00, which is looks like O, then you should be suspicious. So whatever websites you are using, you have to be careful about using that website, that website is proper, it is a genuine website or not, because hacked web or phishing websites are crafted very well, and they don't exactly, looking at first sight, you will never make out that that is a phishing website or that is a proper genuine websites. And first you have to verify the security settings like HTTPS, nowadays in Google also, without HTTPS no websites are accessed, or it is mandatory to have HTTPS, a secure HTTPS protocol. So you have to check that it is an HTTP or HTTPS. If it is HTTP, you don't use that websites, and then you verify the web address, it is proper or not. Like I said, if it is like Yahoo, then yah00.org is given, or .com is given. So you have to check that it is a genuine website or not, or the spellings, or it is matching, or it is it is properly not spelled, or some numbers are inserted to look as it looks like a genuine websites. Then already shown these websites, then you can see that phishing mails are coming, phishing mails are coming through WHO. These are the few phishing mails which have came, that certain information is being circulated through WHO. So to get the more information on COVID-19, you just click on this link, or safety measures. What is the best safety measures you have, you need to uh, take care of, you have to click on this. So once you click on this, your system gets compromised. So it is just a, you cannot make out that how it is coming from WHO or it is coming from anywhere. So you have to see properly the mail ID of this. In this you see that it is on words it is written as WHO, but the mail ID is certainly different, or the mail user ID is different. So you have to properly check from which mail ID it is coming, or the mail ID is proper or not, or it is some manipulated mail IDs. So these are some examples where during COVID, different messages or mails are being circulated, that these mails are coming from WHO, or these mails are coming from genuine government advisory to properly safeguard or safety measures taken can be taken during COVID-19. So these are few examples of the messages, or simple SMS or WhatsApp messages they are, of phishing websites they have posted. Like if you see the what I have seen, UK government has issued a payment of 455 GP Great Britain pounds to all residents as part of its promise to battle COVID-19. So they have circulated that they will be getting certain amount. So you just click on which will help you to fight COVID-19. So once you click that it is a government advisory, then your system or your mobile number will get compromised. Or these are the few examples of the phishing websites or phishing messages uh, which are being circulated. So you have to properly verify that all the messages you are getting, it is from genuine websites or genuine or not. And before clicking on any link, or before clicking on any website, any websites, or before clicking on any links, you have to be proper that it is a genuine or not. Because once you will click, then your system will, your entire device will get compromised, and not your own device, but your entire like your corporate networks, whoever is using your phone, connected, if you are connected through VPN to a corporate network or you have to observe security because nowadays some security patches has been released for this thing, and once you click on that or update the security patches, your gets compromised or your like ransomware attacks happen on your system. So then you have to like antivirus. If you have an antivirus system on your network, you have to regularly update that, and you have to make sure that that antivirus what you are having should have a firewall settings in it and anti-spyware systems inbuilt on that, because nowadays like a lot of antivirus they are not capable of like identifying like threats or malwares. So you have to make sure that antivirus what you are using should be capable of identifying the latest threats like 0-day attacks and anti-spy and internal firewall settings should be there in your antivirus, because a lot of systems has been like recently compromised and informed that in spite of having antivirus software and updated software, their system has compromised because this antivirus was not adequate to detect that malware. Second, if you have any like issue or you have doubts in websites what you are using, then you can just like whose website or who IS, there are a lot of links which can identify or give you the details of that website. So you can enter that website. It is you can know that it is genuine or not. Then we have like clever ransomware. Now, like in since 2020 in cybersecurity challenges, biggest challenges is like ransomware. Like previously the ransomware attack, there were few ransomwares which were identified before like 2019 or 2018, and that ransomware like antivirus have developed, or companies have developed patches for that now. But recently like a lot of ransomwares are being circulated which are in Word documents or like JPG format, like picture format, or or document format, which is sent through your mails or SMS, and once you click on that, that like gets compromised. Or like few ransomwares are there which are like which will suggest to you that this software will provide you an antivirus or anti-malware or a protection to your system. This software will be providing like simple free software or free antivirus. If you are downloading from the websites or these things, then they will show that this will repair your system or repair will repair that system. But if you download and click that software, then it will be a simple, like you will not know that how it will be like it is a genuine or not, and if you click on that, that your entirely like system will might get compromised and your system can be encrypted. So there has been lot of like these things, and your system like if ransomware attacks is there, then it will be encrypt your all the systems, and they will be like uh, ransom will be asked from you to unlock that. Third is like major issue is DDoS attack. Like many systems or many services we have seen in recent, like since 2020, in quarter only like 65% of the major attacks are DDoS attacks, and the services are gone down, or services of different like say many healthcare or medical services or this thing banking services, they have like their services have got down, or many like systems which are used like in Citrix or virtual systems which are being used, or ADC Active Directories or application delivery control systems which are used, that are getting compromised due to the DDoS attack, which are implemented from ISP. If you are implementing a DDoS in your organization or DDoS, then you have to make sure that that DDoS should take care up to layer 7, because maximum DDoS which are available in the market, below cost, they are on a genuine cost, they provide protection only up to layer 3 device. They don't provide up to application layer. So once an application layer attacks of the DDoS, then it will be like DDoS like sync flood or some floods of application layer comes activity, then you have to make sure that it is up to layer 7. Because maximum DDoS are only up to layer 3 or network level attacks they can block. They cannot block the attacks which are on an application level. So to solve this like DDoS, you have to properly monitor the websites or traffics, analyze the DDoS risks, and develop a mitigation plan that how it has to be, how it is to be protected. Cyber policies or policies has to be implemented, and zero trust security framework has to be implemented. So recent, like in 2020, if we see the maximum, like 37% the traffic which has originated, the DDoS originated in India are from China. And next, like 70% are US. So China is major like country which are presently like producing these DDoS attacks. And 7.43 is originated from India. So major is like China is producing these DDoS attacks to bring down the services of various sectors. Next biggest threat, like fourth biggest threat, is like remote and cloud attacks. Like remote systems we are using, so already told that from remote system it is not like proper, or it is not if you are using a freeware or like free Wi-Fi network or unprotected network you are using, and you are publishing your data, getting connected to your corporate, then your entire corporate network and your home network is getting can be compromised. And to protect that from direct attacks from cloud infrastructure and database, like you can have a like third-party integrations, have a proper access control mechanisms. You can like implement an enterprise virtual firewalls at every node, every instruction, or introduce a multi-factor authentication level to the data or to the device you are. It has to be like which cannot be read, or like nowadays you if you put a capture in that. Simple example, like now capture is like there are certain hacks which can really read that capture, and that capture can be put to capture. Nowadays the capture is not that secure what we think, but in 1 or 2 years back, that after putting a capture it cannot be read automatically, but now the development has been done and hackers have developed certain softwares that captures can also be read and it can be like put. So you have to have a proper authentication mechanisms. Next is like JPGs and these things, polyglot files. Like normal files are pushed through malwares. They are as a malware. You will not know that normal files or normal like document files are coming to your mails, and you just click on that mails and your system like gets compromised. So you have to check that what are the files that are coming. Normal images are coming, you will right click and you will say that normal images like Outlook, when in Outlook certain files get blocked, so you will right click and say that open that image or view that image, and once you click that view that image, that will operate or execute on your system, and your system gets like compromised. So there are various means by which like your system are getting compromised. So you have to take care of each and every steps, a proper guidelines, or proper like company have to release a proper uh, security measures or awareness they have to provide to your to all the employees, so that it has to be like users should be working on a highly secure ways. Now like internet of things, lot of system, like 75 billion systems are now like using internet of things, and internet of things is now became a major attacks like botnets or vulnerabilities. Access controls are implemented on that, so that they can like building offices, premises, and all the systems they are using or devices used for IoT are getting are accessed. So it has become a major concern for cyber security. Then it's like social engineering. Like in social engineering, we already seen like phishing attacks are there, and uncompromised or bad Wi-Fi's are being used. SIM swappings are there, which can exactly replicate the SIM what you are using, and message or calls what you are your calls get like monitored across the network. Whatever messages you are sending, it gets delivered to that hacker also. So some of the examples are like social engineering. The people call that you are there is a certain survey, or there is certain awareness training, say, going on for the COVID-19. Certain awareness program is going on. You have to provide certain information of yours. So you have to be very can be used against you. Which I like if you have a password, you have kept a password which is related to your personal information, like your number, your date of birth, or these things. And if like you provide that information to some other persons, that within a seconds, like there are certain tools that within, if it is a 8 characters long, if you have kept an 8 character password, your password can get compromised. And so you have to be very careful about the information you are providing, because if you are not an not if you are speaking to an unidentified person who doesn't know you, then you should not be providing their personal information to him. Facebook feeds what you have put your Facebooks or these things. So all the data or malicious activities can be recorded, and that also can be used against you. And nowadays, like from Facebook, different like information are getting extracted, and what are the feeds you are providing in Facebook. Like certain fake ads are being published in Facebook. Like once there was an ad that you are getting a McDonald coupon, system will alert certain services like DDoS services are getting pushed to other network. So unknowingly, your system will be used. And you just you'll know that your system is like you will not recognize that how it is happening, and your system will just get slow down little bit. But your system is like pushing DDoS attacks to other organizations or other systems. Then major issue like identity theft is the major concern in COVID-19, because through social engineering and these things about like see in 2019 there were cases of 12,900 cases were reported for identity theft, but in say 2020 it has grown to like 3,000%. It is into 2020 only there were 394,000 cases reported of identity theft. That certain person have uh, like your identity without knowing your without you don't know how it happened, and your like bank account details and these things has been hacked, and some money has been withdrawn, or your from your system some uh, like DDoS attacks and vulnerabilities has been generated to some systems, through using your system, that system has been hacked. So unknowingly, like from your identity has been compromised. Then basically password. A lot of people are like know that they have to provide a password, but like 65% of the total like devices or attacks are due to the password. Password maximum users, you have seen that maximum people know that password is there. They have the knowledge that what are the passwords to be kept, but they don't do that. They don't bring that into practice, that a secure password or proper password has to be provided, or password whatever it is, it has to be regularly updated. Because if we have seen that a lot of people's like ATM pins are there, that they are like more than 6 months or 1 year, they don't change their pin. And if they don't change their pins, like it can be guessable, or it can be recorded by anyone. If you are going an ATM and putting your pins, it can be recorded. So it is a very good practice to like maximum people know that what is the password and how it is to be used. be like operated, or how a strong password has to be kept, and it has to be changed on regular basis, but they don't put into practice. Like people have reused their, because like systems, whatever the system is built, it is not properly like configured, or not that you cannot use that previous password. Like it is a best practice to not use that previous password, but people do that on a regular basis. They reuse that same password for their convenience. Then it's like 0-day exploitation. 0-day exploitation has become a major issue nowadays, because all the antivirus and maximum like security devices which are implemented, they provide 0-day, but there are some time lapse, like 4 to 5 hours. They take time to provide that signature. Once a virus comes or malware is detected globally, then it takes 4 to 5 hours for the company to uh, create that patch. So within that 4 to 5 maximum like devices and maximum data can be compromised. It is already compromised till they provide that. So 0-day attack has become a very uh, major issue in today's world. So we have to properly like take care of this, and we have to see that all the patches we are implementing, and we have to use certain systems like Train Micro or McAfee. They provide a virtual patching. In this antivirus, they have a virtual patching. Like if a certain malware is detected globally, then immediately a certain there will be a patch. They will create a virtual patch that this virus will be blocked, and then they will be releasing after 4 to 5 hours. They will be releasing the patch. So we have to use an adequate antivirus, an adequate system, or adequate security controls, or that should protect our network. And it should be sufficient. And then we have like 12 is insider threats. Insider threats is many major issue, like insider people's 70 of like 57% of all the data breach involved are involved, like insider peoples are involved in that. Your colleagues and your like teammates or your people around you uh, have like misused the data, or are responsible for that breach. Then we have like deepfake. Deepfake is like someone's, like in YouTube you have like Donald Trump and these things, like measure fake photos are kept and fake codes or informations are put that some person has given this information, and due to that fake identity or fake information, people go that and they believe that this was the information, and they click on link, or they start using that data, or that doing that thing, and it results into an like compromise situation. So now we will see like effective ways, how to measure effective ways to prevent in cybersecurity threats. With like 64% of the companies now have experienced like web-based attacks. Cybersecurity is like major important issue nowadays. The complaints in recent years, if we see, have jumped to more than about 300%. The cyber threats are now real, and it is like uh, previously like cyber threats or cybersecurity was treated not that important, but recently, just after like COVID situation and these things, it is a major issue nowadays. It has reached to a major issue, as you can see that on a global scale. Like second is cybersecurity on all crimes. So you will see the effective ways to like prevent the cyber threats. How that cybersecurity can be prevented in a simple like some of the ways are like enabling multi-factor authentication. You have to check your passwords, which should be changed or uh, updated regularly. Proper awareness training is to be provided to all the staff and people. Like if you have some time, if you are free, you should be like going on Neat or on YouTube, and you have like you can take a survey like what is the best adequate measures, or what is the genuine measures or adequate measures to properly like awareness or properly use the systems or to reduce the cyber risks. So you can take a survey, or you can say you can take an online training of your own to reduce don't for not being a vulnerable like point. Like implement a robust internal controls, like companies provide an internal controls or internal devices or systems or policies, measures that reduce the risks. And all the softwares, you make sure that all the softwares what you are using are up to date and with the have implemented the latest security patches, and that security patch should be coming from a genuine like OEM. It should not be from anywhere and you are downloading that from a third party installing it third party network. You should be saying that once the data you are storing on your system and the data whatever you are transmitting over net, it is secure. Like you have to check that it is HTTPS and proper like TLS 1.2 or 1.3 is implemented, because nowadays if we see that if it is SSL implemented like SSL v3, and then SSL v3 is also very vulnerable. So you have to take that certain like standard security measures like presently so you have to take that certain updated security measures are implemented what and once you are encrypted with the proper updated security measures. And whatever the antivirus you are using, that antivirus should have an adequate controls, like all the systems of internal firewalls and latest malware systems and virtual patchings should be there. Like a lot of antivirus, they don't have certain features and they are not adequate to protect that uh, that information, because antivirus are based on mainly signature based. Then once the signature, they identify the signature, they block, and if the signature is not identified or new virus comes, then they will not block that. So certain security measures or certain programs or controls has to be implemented, or it should be provided by the software agencies to like handle or to tackle with certain situations where like 0-day attacks comes. And your identify the threats. You have to like properly go through and keep yourself updated about the threats and latest breaches or data attacks happening across the world, so that you don't become a victim of it. And you have to beware of the cyber crimes, all cyber crimes which are going across or occurring across your uh, areas. Ensure that you have a strong sign of policy, you have a proper like log of systems on your system, you have a proper password policy and all the policies. You have this all like services has to be maintained on a proper basis, that no irregular services or unwanted services are not running on your systems, on your mobiles. And manage your updated like security media, social media settings. You have to manage and update on a regular basis. You have to check on what are the feeds you are posting. Like there has been many cases where people have not posted, but your social media account has been hacked and they have posted number of like say feeds they have provided, which has been used like against you, and your reputation is under compromised. Then like security intelligence, we have like mainly security intelligence. A lot of companies have implemented, and these security intelligence major components are or major is to provide a good proper security posture of the organization. And this security intelligence elements which are implemented basically are log mechanism, that whatever activities any individual is doing in his or in his systems or in a corporate network will be getting logged. And a log management, a proper log management is maintained, and all the activities whatever he is doing is recorded, so that if any issues are there or any breach or attack occurs, then a security like SOC team, security operating center, has been properly configured, who monitors these activities, and he checks the weakest link in that. And if there is any he has any suspicious or he finds any suspicious activity or not proper activity, that he can drill or improper or like say improper authentication or uses of the details is being operated. Then is like SIM is operated, which evaluates entire like security information and event management system, entire your systems and logs and whatever the device you are using within the network. All that network data comes to a single point. The SIM analyze that data and it provides a comprehensive report. From that report, like security operating SOC team analyzes that report and they verifies that everything is okay, or if is there any abnormality in that. If there is any abnormality, they drill down the records and they checks and they report it to a like concerned authority. Then network behavior analysis is done, that how network is behaving, if any abnormal behavior is there on the network or any attacks or some say some users some user details are fetched from number of systems. Say, yeah, some users are logging and his credentials or details has been compromised. So from they do like from different countries they started logging in, they route their data to a different country like US. Also they are logging with the same like details. From China they are logging with the same details. Then certain behavior or behavior analysis is done with each and every record or every details of the individual or data which are flowing into the network. Then behavior analysis is done. Then what is the behavior of that, and if any behavior is abnormal, then it is recorded or reported to the concerned authority, and proper security measures is implemented. Proper security risks and compliance management is implemented. Like then network forensic is done. For proper forensic details is provided of all the activities and whatever activities is happening on the network, that forensic details is maintained. It is drilled down that record, that say encrypted SSL traffic. Nowadays a lot of encrypted attacks has occurred, like HTTPS is also not that secure nowadays. Like lot of attacks, like 43% of the attacks are now coming from say encrypted traffic. So if you see that HTTPS also, there are certain devices which decrypts the data, they evaluate, they do a forensic on that through certain algorithms, and they verify that it is proper or not, that they pass to the next level. So to rebost to do all this, and you have to, like companies make a certain plan that what is we have to do today, what will be doing tomorrow and next week and next month. A proper roadmap is created. Like today certain employees we will be providing like awareness training, and day after tomorrow we will be implementing certain controls. So companies provide evaluates a sort roadmap so that a proper security measures is implemented, and all the like companies organization networks, it provides a secure environment for people to work on. Then the best way like company implemented or users to secure an environment is to it is done into like say 4 steps. It is first is educate the people with proper like security measures and educate measures with the latest updates which has happened. Harden the environment, harden your system and harden the networks, but provide a hardening policy or implement the hardening measures on your system or network what you are using. Detect detect to monitor the remote work and cloud information and activities, and like all the threats are happening. So the threat intelligence mechanism is involved uh, so that threats can be reported, and then respond uh, if any breach is occurred or any abnormal activity has happened, then it should be responded on a in a appropriate manner, so that timely like data can be recovered and the breach can be blocked. Or so these are the 4 steps through which mainly a proper secure environment is provided. First, we will see that how educate we provide an proper like awareness, create an aware to avoid like clicking on attachment, or uh, create a proper cyber security policies and best practices to use this, how the user will be, like people will be using their systems or their basic network hygienic remotely, how they will be using or hygienic systems, and what is to be done if like proper security measures or authentication measures, proper authentication measures is created, and proper controls on the network is implemented, like certain, if we don't want any uh, like say websites to open, or website or proper accessibility of the website is to be blocked, then that websites has to accessibility of that website should be blocked if it is not as per business use. So certain education system, people are educated according to the best practice, and they are provided with the awareness training on a regular basis about the breach and updates. Then hardening policy is implemented, that how proper hardening like policy on your system, like if you are using remotely, and if you are, then what are the like hardening guidelines you can implement on your systems. And if you are using like third party softwares or social networkings you are doing, or you are using company network, then like you should be installing like latest patch, the platform what you are using should be updated with the latest security features. Multi-factor authentication is implemented, and proper vulnerability assessment and penetration testing should be done of all the devices, or uh, all the like assets or devices what you are using. So proper hardening guidelines is created and it is implemented. Then detection mechanism is operated, like if any uh, threats are recorded on the systems or the corporate network, then it has to be properly detected. So certain secure intelligence devices are placed on the network, like um, say for encryption mechanisms, like on encrypted you put an SSL visibility device to which evaluates the uh, encrypted attacks which are coming from SSL or TLS. So certain intelligence devices are placed like SIM or net security intelligence device, which showed in the previous slides, that are implemented to detect that vulnerabilities on the network. Then responded or proper responding mechanisms is uh, a proper response, like a SOC team, or there are teams to evaluate that threats, or certain mechanism like you have to report to like certain, there's guidelines like certain is there, so you can report the threats if you have to certain. So certain the proper response should be provided, the user should be educated with that, like certain malware scheme, and this malware updated patches to be implemented, so it has to be reported properly to secure your environment. Now we will be seeing like certain security uh, terms we use, that it has to be like CIA triads. CIA triad is like confidentiality, integrity, and availability to secure your information systems. In this, like principle of least privilege is implemented, that all the access, whatever is provided, it should be with a least privilege access. Whatever the accounts you are using on your system, it should be having a least privilege. It should not, you should not be using same system or same account with administrator right, and same system or same account with your uh, like least privilege is your username and administrator should not be same. So while using your normal system, you should be using with the least privilege account, so that if you are using your normal system or doing your normal activities, then if anything you click and it wants an installation on your system, then if your system is an admin, or you are using that system with an administrator, then it will directly get installed. But if you are using with a least privilege account, that it does not have a privilege to install that system or install that software, then a layer will be implemented, and that software or malware will not go and get installed on your system. So if we are doing a regular normal work on your system, that it will be it should be having, you should be using that with a list. Should be to know things like a survey is going, a survey, say a survey is for health mechanism, health checkup, and they ask your bank details and your personal identity and your date of birth, and that is not relevant. So need to know basis, whatever the information a person know, should be knowing. You should be providing that information only, not more information or extra information should not be provided. Then segregation of duties is implemented, like different people should be having separate duties, and your systems and sensitivity and criticality has to be identified, like what are the critical informations or critical data or sensitive data of your systems. Then that has to be properly protected or segregated. Then as I previously told you, CIR triads depends upon the three functionality, like confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Like confidentiality information has to be like confidential, and information is not made available or disclosed to unauthorized person. And integrity, the complete accuracy is maintained on the complete life cycle of the information. Then availability is like information whenever it is required, it has to be available to the genuine or to the person who requires that. It is not that all the information, your personal details, you are broadcasting and providing to everyone. Then some methods of confidentiality are to encrypt or authentication or ear gaps. You can provide restrict access to authorization, use the proper like username and passwords, user authentication, unauthorized disclosure of information should not happen, and threats to confidentiality are like social engineering, key locks, or packet capture, your personal information, phishing attacks, which gets information and collects your information through your system. And integrity is for integrity prevent unauthorized modification of the data. Like uh, as I told you, like if you deposit like 1,000 rupees in your bank, then after some time that amount should not reduce, should be same. So certain integrity has to be maintained.
We are not hearing your voice. Hello, Mr. Tiwari? There is some internet problems. Hello.
Like systems, right access, like sync floods or IMP floods are implemented, electric power breakdowns, or network are brought down. Then identity and authenticity. Identity, you should be protecting your identity and authentication. Identity is like username, and authenticity is authentication, what you are authenticated or multi-factor authenticating, or like say token or passwords or smart cards you are using. These are these few examples of authorization. Like access control mechanisms are implemented, and like in Windows, Active Directory is implemented. And non-repetition is like whenever if you are hacked or if your system is compromised, you should be having an adequate information about that who has hacked, or like firewall administrative, or like proper. It should not be like if we are blaming to someone. Non-repetition is something like if I am blaming someone that he have done that, and then I should be having a certain proof or artifacts that he have done that. It should not be a case that he bounce back to you that he have not done that and you are not able to prove it. So it is a non-repetition. So once you are blaming, or if you are hacked or your system is compromised, then we should be having a proper mechanism to prove that it has been like hacked and the data has been compromised, and what level of data has been compromised, so that controls can be implemented and security policies can be implemented. Then security is always like layered security approach we should be implementing, because if we see that if we implement a, say if in a system you don't have any if you have only antivirus on your system, then only antivirus cannot protect your entire system. It is a layered approach. Security is always a layered approach. So all the layers we have to apply a proper security measures. See, we'll see that all the layers, what are the like 7 layers of, there are 7 layers of cyber security, like human layer. In human layer, we implement say policies and procedures what a person have to take care of. Then in parameter layer, like we implement DDoS or SSL visibility device which detects the traffic which are coming from outside, and uh, evaluates that what are the traffics. Network layer, like firewalls and system firewalls are implemented which evaluates the traffic or traffic from outside. Then the data, then it an endpoint security layers is implemented where say antivirus is implemented in endpoint security layer. Then an application security layer, we implement WAF and this thing WAF device, and application layer security or application security protocols are implemented. In then data security layer, we patch and this thing, security patches are implemented, and OS level hardenings are implemented. Then data is getting access and critical data are so these 7 layers are put in place so that a proper control mechanism can be implemented at each layer. Because if you don't have a particular security at any layer, then if we say you have an antivirus at endpoint layer and you don't have a firewall at network layer, then that endpoint will not uh, do that job, or your data will not be fully protected, and there are chances that you can get compromised. But if we have, say, you have firewall, you have antivirus, but you don't have anything which is on application layer or protection, any protection on application layer, then network and endpoint will never be able to protect your application. That the threats which are coming to application will never be, these layers will never able to identify it, and your application will get compromised. So all the layers are important, and all proper security measures should be implemented in each and every layer. So these are again examples of the data theft, how data are implemented, and at layer wise how security measures are implemented. Like in application, your application is on the host, then host is protected, that application is protected, and internal networks is protected. Then parameter level, then physical security is implemented, and policy and procedures is implemented. When attacks happen, then attacks will have to go through all these layers. So if you have hardware or broadware firewalls layer, then OS software firewalls you have, then that attacks has to go through that, then antivirus layer, then security patches and user access control. So attack has to go from all the layers. So it will be very difficult for anyone to control or put that attack, so execute that attack, if all this security is implemented at each and every layer. So some are the features of password, like password attacks, or like password guessing, and like password cracking. Dictionary passwords are implemented, like brute force attacks are implemented. Birthday attacks, like birthday passwords are. Uh, there are certain tools, like if we are like say you have implemented according to your like identification, your own details like birthday, your name, and these things, then it will be cracked easily. And there are mechanisms. So salt hashing SHA is implemented. Wherever the password is kept, it is hashed, so that authentication and encryption mechanism is implemented. And access control for access, like sniffing and email spying are there. Smart cards attacks, phishing attacks, and spear phishings are there. The proper security measures, when it is implemented in a 3 layers approach. It is there. So first is security governance. In governance, like higher level security measures are implemented. management. They create roles and responsibility or visions on how security measures is implemented, how security should be responsible for creating the security and device updated patches are pushed and implementation team works on. Then there are like certain standards like ISO standards recently is implemented, which has certain controls like control environment, like control activities, information communication and monitoring. It has like 14 control, it has 114 controls in 14 domains. So all the domains are like applied as per company's requirement. The ISMS is basically ISO 27001 is highly like used standard, and as like uh, in India we have a huge workforce of like more than, say it is a previous data, but nowadays like nearly about 600 plus organizations in India are already like certified, ISO certified. Just give me a second. Then risk modulation, we have how risk is always like risk is equal to threats into vulnerability into consequences. So risk management, then risk management is done, right? Risk management is always like risk assessment is done for it, and risk mitigation plan, evaluation and assessment is done. So how risk is evaluated first, like it's a simple process I have put on, like security or companies if process that or companies take this measure to evaluate a proper risk mechanism. Like it is as per NIST 830, like risk management guide for technological systems. But that has it is implemented as per company's requirement and these things. It is basically a risk approach which is implemented as per security categorization or systems categorization and or asset-based risk management system. Then risks can never be like removed, or risks cannot be zero down. Risks can only be like mitigated. Mitigation plans can be implemented. It can be transferred. It can be avoided, like, and it can be accepted or it can be rejected, but risk can never be like zero down. Risk can never be like, you cannot say that I don't have any risk and there is zero risk. There cannot be a zero risk in any form. There can, that risk always exist. It can only be, it can change, the form can be changed. So next we will be doing some sensitive like some adequates or individual, some adequates you will be taking care of. You should be taking care of during these things. Like information is considered as sensitive only if the loss of confidential integrity or availability could be expected to have a serious like type of sensitive informations are sensitive informations which can be considered as personal or financial, payroll, medical, privacy act and informations. These are some of the sensitive informations which are considered. And prevent sparing, when storing the information, you should be like personal personal identity should not be revealed or it should be protected. So if for the protecting your personal information, what you can do is that you can encrypt data before storing. The data has to be encrypted while storing and while transmitting. The stored data through network, if you are transmitting that data, it should be across a certified network, or that network also has to be like encrypted. Like paperwork and these things, paper should not be left blank. And if you are disposing the paper, it should be properly trashed. It should not be like you can tear that in 4 sheets and you cannot put dump that which can be extracted previously. And and that information can be used. So passwords, when you are implementing passwords, like proper password policies or password mechanisms is to be uh, implemented. Like password has to be alphanumeric. Normal simple password should not be kept, and it should be like minimum it is 8 characters nowadays. In 8 characters loud, it takes around 7 to 8 minutes to crack down. So usually you have to make sure that the password what you are putting does not like, or OTP, if you get it's 8 characters, it should not exceed more than like 2 to 3 minutes, so that the user or other system based hackers should not crack that. Then you should be protecting your facility. If you are protecting your while using or while operating in office, you should be like protecting your facility, then which can be like checking all the users should be having a badge or security iCards, and if there is any incident reported, then it should be reported on a proper proper mechanisms through the system. The security awareness trainings should be provided, like avoid you should not be discussing your work or business related issue in the public where there are a lot of people, or face to face or phones where number of people can hear you. You should not keep your security badges here and there so that anyone can capture or can click the photo of that. You should not talk about your works outside the office. These are basic etiquettes which can be implemented from a proper or secure uh, manner, so that you can be more secure and risks can be reduced. For social engineering, like if the caller IDs, these are some do's and don'ts. You should not document this. You should be like document the situation whenever the caller calls. You should verify that the caller is genuine or not, and whatever he is saying that he is calling from a certain detail. Then you have to make sure you like verify that he is a genuine caller. And if you have any issues or these things like you think that it is not a genuine, then you should contact the security persons. And you should not participate in any surveys, and you should not share your details. You should not share your computer informations like your IP details or your confirmation like system MAC address if anyone asks your personal information to anyone over phones or records. So on mobile, like you should not connect wireless functionality when it is there. You should not connect to any open Wi-Fi, and the mobile device has to be properly like classified, label all the informations on this properly. You should be classified and protected. And while using social media, you should be aware of the online posts or online surveys they provide. You have to check the privacy policies they have, and work related, like reframe your discussions on any work related matters. You should not discuss uh, your work related matters on your social media. But and if you are like suspicious about the computer problems, like if your computer acts unusual, it is operating, your mouse is operating here and there, and or you have your system have gone slow, or it is operating unusually, then you have to report it immediately, because it can be like spyware, trojanware, or worms can be inserted in your system. So you should be immediately reporting to your security team. So lastly, like information system, security management system is implemented. It cannot, by implementing like information security management, it cannot be like hack proof. It cannot be built, but we can reduce the risks. And lastly, like backup should be important. Like all the backups, all the files and important files you have, it should be backed up. You'd be having a proper backup of that. Ensure that all the security measures are implemented, and based hardware, all the hardwares like failed, so you should be having a proper backup mechanism. Maybe like 2 years of backup can be implemented, because if one backup fails, and uh, other can be used. So lastly, like security tips, we can improve security and continue to refer yourself so that you don't become a point of vulnerable. You and your defense system, you don't become a vulnerable so that anyone can have or access your data. And you should understand and prioritize static zero trust initiative. You should not trust anyone, so that nowadays a zero trust initiative is being enforced, that like on calls or anywhere on medias or anything on website, you should not trust anyone, and so you should evaluate it properly. So this was my last slide. Then we can have questions if the time prevails. Sir, you are on mute.
Sir, you are on mute, sir. Unmute
Moni,
yourself, sir.
Mr.
Sir, you
Manish,
are on
put
mute,
the
sir.
title
Unmute.
properly. Title properly, that the screen. Okay, good. Thank you very much, Mr. Arvind Tiwari. I was listening, taking notes for the last 1.5 hours. It's almost like I am attending a, professorial address today on cyber security. You covered risk, challenges, and solutions, and also various steps as to how to reduce the cyber risk. It is an industrial experience, operational experience. It's not a theoretical class. You have done it every aspect with examples. What has happened on the ground, how we should do that, and how to make people, every aspect, everybody who is involved in the system, how they should be prepared. Don't leave it to the IT department. You are part and parcel of the information system, which consists of networks and core infrastructures. And you also ended very nicely. Cyber security and privacy starts and ends with us. This is that golden principle, golden mission and vision. Cyber security and privacy starts and ends with us. It is within us that it is a like a personal security. It is a cyber security. And I'm very happy. I was listening very carefully, and I hope that the participants are also listening very carefully, and this will create a lot of interest and enthusiasm for the people to get into cyber security aspects. Because you, as a practitioner, as an industry practitioner, and as a certified implementer, that you have explained very clearly in simple terms, without not much of technical jargons, that you explained very clearly that this is an important area, that you've seen it during 2020 and 2021, the the cyber security issues, how it created a havoc with the organizations and education, all institutions and government. And you also said it now, that you look back and see that whether you have a 7 layers of cyber security. Don't be satisfied. Even it is not 100% security. You have to evolve. Cyber security always evolve, and you have to be a researcher and a developer and and in the solution pathway. And is it not possible to adopt artificial intelligence and machine learning and virtual reality to bring in a sophisticated and cyber security proof organization? And physical security is also now digitalized, but physical security of an organization is not linked to with cyber security. You said it very nicely that can you trust your colleagues? Don't trust your employees. Don't even talk outside about your work. You remove your badge when you go out. Don't display anything. These are all some of the things that are all non-technical security issues. Technical and non-technology and non-technology. But it is every organization now, when it go for deepening process of digitalization one has to undertake. You can't just leave it. You can't just leave it to IT organization. You are eligible to become a part of today's management if you are, security literate. That's why it is necessary to have computer security, cyber security as a compulsory subject and training of government, employees of an organization and the students who come out from the computer science and information technology. Now, education is IT enabled. Legal systems are IT enabled, but information system will have a complete security proof if they are legally enabled. Shock waves will go through the spinal cords of everybody. If the information systems are legally enabled, they have to see to that all several layers and evolving layers of cybersecurity are in place. Because goods and services, ICT, goods and services are, this economic activity. And economic activity has to have a safeguarded from any threat. So they have to stand in the court of law. So we are very happy, Mr. Arvind Tiwari, even though I have, invited you on a short notice and you also agreed to participate, today's international webinar series on open source digital technology, self-reliant India. And if every organization in the country, educational institution in the country are involved in cyber security research and development and education and extension, and India will be at the top. And we will be in a position to now get into not only $5 trillion economy, it can be $10 trillion economy. And the last week, 2 weeks back, we had an address that the black marketing alone, India is losing about something like $1 trillion, rupees. It means $14.1 billion every year. If it is serialized and if anti-counterfeiting methods are operational, India will be gaining every year $14.1 billion. If appropriate cybersecurity measures and methodical digitalization process, deepening process in India is not only $5 trillion economy, we can get into $10 trillion economy in the country. Thank you very much, Mr. Arvind Tiwari, for your very innovative, in-depth, insightful, address to the audience, to a person like me, who studied MTech in computer science in IIT Chennai 76-78 batch. So I have refreshed my knowledge through your talk today very effectively. We would like to request you to get associated with the Sobit University for undertaking industry-linked academic programs on cybersecurity. And today you are quietly, open in your talk. You didn't mingle any, you didn't mix up any other issues. You straight away said it that this is what is happening in India, this is what is happening throughout the world, but how we have to conduct ourselves. 11 steps which you talked about it. It is an intelligent approach, of getting into to reduce risk. We have to have a risk mitigation, steps, approach, policy. But policy, it has to be operationalized. It is not to be put it as a document and put it as a section in the the departments and organizations portal website. It has to be operationalized. Everybody has to have appropriate knowledge, concern, and it is necessary. And you have now given a clarion call for operationalization of risk mitigation process in any organization which has adopted digitalization as their backbone. You have done in a wonderful justification for the topic of the talk today. Cyber security, risks talked a lot. challenges, talked a lot, provided a lot of solutions, and you've given 11 principles, golden principles of intelligence approach to reduce cyber risk. And I'm very happy that you entered your talk that physical security and cyber security have to merge for an organization to be put on the highest pedestal. And cyber security and privacy starts and ends with us. Thank you very much for participating in today's program. And thanks, we appreciate and thank your organization, CMS, for giving you, permission and authority to talk in the international webinar series on open source digital technology for self-reliant India, which is organized by Sobit University and Sobit Institute of Engineering and Technology deemed to be university in association with African Asian Rural Development Organization. This is an initiative of Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application. Thank you very much. We, thank every participant of this international webinar and for your participation. And we greet you from Sobit University. For more research inquiries, please contact Professor Moni Madaswamy, Professor Emeritus and Chairman of these Centers of Excellence and former Director General, National Informatics Center, Government of India. My email ID is moni@sobituniversity.ac.in. We thank Honorable Chancellor of the Sobit Institute of Engineering Technology and His Excellency, the Secretary General of African Asian Rural Development Organization. Thank you very much and have a nice day. And we close the webinar and leave studio.
Thank you.